Hello, Dr. Randolph. My name is Katie Stevens, and this is my presentation on The Body Keeps the Score by Dr. Vanderkolk. This is not my first time reading this book. This is now officially my second time. I was given this book from my own personal counseling to overcome my own personal childhood trauma. So let's get into it from the academic standpoint and personally reflecting on it. So, trauma is usually thought of something that just affects your mind and your emotions. The book, however, really is good at explaining how it actually affects not just the mind, but also the body. Before I learned any of this, I only saw my trauma as very emotional, and I didn't realize how much it would show up for me physically as well. The book really shows the idea that just talking about things is enough to help in healing. Trauma can be something that happens only one time, which makes it acute trauma, or it can be happen repeatedly over time, making it chronic trauma. The book also explains complex trauma, which develops from ongoing experiences, especially early in life, and can affect how someone develops over time, which is what I personally deal with CPTSD. Before understanding this, I didn't really fully connect how my own experiences to trauma responses. This helped me start making sense of how past experience can still how I respond today. Vice versa, pretty much saying how I was still just kind of stuck in my past in a way. The brain and trauma. Trauma really affects the brain. The amygdala becomes more active and increases fear and alertness during a trauma response. The hippocampus can become disrupted. It makes it harder to process memories, and the prefrontal cortex becomes less active, uh, giving less ability for emotional control. This really helped me understand why my reactions were so intense sometimes, even when some logically everything around me was fine. I think one of the most important ideas in this book is that trauma is just not remembered. It is stored in the body that we have held on to since we were born. It is the same body that we've had since we were uh, a newborn baby, and now just different in growth and change and experience. Before I read the book in my 20s with my counselor, I didn't really connect mental and physical reactions. I understood my emotions, but I didn't realize why my body was reacting and holding on to these experiences. It really changed how I understood my responses because it helped me realize that my reactions aren't just in my head. My body is responding to it as well. Symptoms of trauma can include hypervigilance, emotional intensity, difficulty regulating emotions, and relationship challenges. These things I personally started recognizing in myself, especially emotional intensity. That's actually what led me to seek counseling when I was around 20, where I was diagnosed with complex PTSD. Learning about these symptoms through trauma helped me understand that my reactions weren't random or too much, but connected to what I experienced. I used to think of myself very bad for how I let anger come out of me, but learning that it wasn't just my mind and it was also the body really put it together for myself to understand that it's not random or too much. What's happening? Some of the healing and treatment for over trauma can be trauma-focused CPT, which is personally one of my favorite types of therapy-based approaches. There is also eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. This is something that I have been coming to learn more academically about. I I can see how this is comes back to how healing and treatment is not a one size fits all. How trauma focused CPT, connecting my mind to my thoughts, to my feelings and behavior, is what helped me, while sometimes EMDR can be a lot more effective for somebody else for their trauma. And then even mindfulness and body-based approaches help in just practicing gratitude, being present in the moment, and then grounding ourselves. This book at my 20s, and then even reflecting on it now at 28, really helped me understand my trauma and how it affected me in my early 20s into adulthood. Um, Being able to understand that everything, how my body felt and everything else in between was connected from that event really gave me hope that I wasn't what I would say at the time crazy. I felt crazy at the time, not knowing that I had stuff wrong with me, but what was wrong with me? I wasn't ever crazy. I just had CPTSD and had to learn to overcome my triggers. Um, I really reduced my self-blame in aspects of what was my fault, what was my fault in healing the pain in non-healthy ways, such as substance abuse addiction, and then, just connecting my emotions to my bodily responses. That shift is what really was very important for me. For professional application, I do dream and hopes to become a future counselor. The book really shaped on where I want to work with my clients, which is trauma-focused informed care. I want to help people understand that behaviors are often connected to past experiences. I also think it's really important to be aware of countertransference, especially because of my own experience can influence how I respond. This book helped me see that, clients aren't overreacting, they're responding to what their body has learned. Because of this, I want to focus on helping clients regulate both their mind and their body. In conclusion, The Body Keeps the Score really shows that trauma doesn't just affect the mind, it affects the whole person. Understanding that connection between the mind and the body is important for healing. The book has helped me better understand my trauma, myself, and how I want to help others in the future. Overall, healing isn't just about talking, it's about helping both the mind and body feel safe again. Thank you. And here are my references.